Hi, everybody. I'm Megan Weatherly with the Stephen F. Austin State University Center for Teaching and Learning, and we're back today with another faculty spotlight. And today I'm joined by Dr. Jamie Humphries, Assistant Professor in the Department of Business Communication and Legal Studies here at SFA. Hey, Jamie, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good. So Jamie's doing something really interesting this semester. He's got a data visualization class. So Jamie, tell us a little bit about this class and what the goals are for it.
Well, this course starts off with teaching the basic concepts of business intelligence to students. It's a special topics class this semester, and hopefully in the fall will be approved by the state to be a real, I will say a real class. But basically what it does is allow students to take a data visualization course in learning how to use the basics of a tool that takes data that's disparate from different areas and putting it together to create something besides spreadsheets for people to go over. And it's for really, as you get in the real world, away from academia, if you're not an accountant, people like to see visuals versus looking at blocks of numbers. And so coming out of that world before I came to SFA, this is something I had to learn to do, and it's something that's impactful for students to learn.
It sounds like a great tool for our students as they're moving into their careers after they leave us here at SFA. So what sort of data sets were you guys using prior to spring break?
Prior to spring break, we were using things that came along with the package I have from Tableau, which is a lot of sales type data, stock market type data, things to be able, they could draw bar charts and graphs from. But then we started to incorporate data from other sources from like Kaggle.com or Data World or humandata.org, which are public data sets that we can drive to looking at, like say one of the exercises is making dashboards from wildfire data across the US. We've kind of focused it down to Texas over a 20-year period where we could have interactive data visualizations where we could drive down and see, in what year, how many wildfires occurred, what type, what size, using maps to drop off where they occurred at, and then also, what were the things that caused these fires to happen, and then correlating that back with the weather data that was occurring in that year and that time.
So you had a really unique opportunity this semester when COVID popped up. So how did you begin to use that data and incorporate it into your course?
Well, there's a public data set that's out there from Johns Hopkins University. And what they have is correlated data from about 30 different sources around the planet. And it's well curated, so it's easy for students to be able to hook into and see live data. It's updated every few hours during the day about things of deaths and confirmed cases and recovered and things like that, so that the students can actually create their own dashboards that are interactive and create forecasting models to say, okay, well, we can see the confirmed and the deaths by state or by country, and then see how those forecasting models came out to what was actually true. And then we talk about flattening the curve. With that data, they can actually see, is the curve really flattening? Are we still going up exponentially? And so we have those daily reports that come in that we can graph that out to, and they can interpret the data. They can actually have that conversation with themselves of, well, are we still going up exponentially? Is the curve starting to flatten? Which we're starting to see in countries like Italy and Spain, and they're able to see the data themselves. It's something they created. They can have a conversation with themselves, and then we can take that data, also look back at, well, some of the conversations we've been having around the data when we review this in every class period was, well, how does this fit into what's the business world? How is this impacting? So we're able to take that data and then look back at other data sets that are out there to see, well, how did this impact like hotel stays? How would this impact investiture in pharmaceutical companies? Whereas everything else is going down, those companies are going up because that's where people are pouring their money into. And so those are things that we've been doing, just taking this data and be able to say, well, what's the story behind this? What's the larger story? And that's the whole point about business intelligence, is not just collecting the data itself, but actually fashioning a story that's larger than just the data set itself, that you can interpret for executives when you're in the real world. Because nobody wants to look at a spreadsheet. Or they don't want to interpret a bunch of numbers. They want to actually see something that's easily for them to interpret and make decisions from. And so that's my experience coming from the corporate world into academia last year. So that's what I'm trying to relay upon my students that come from various sources. From I've got one that's in forestry, one's in computer science, and then those that are business majors and minors too.
Well, I mean, just the immediate applicability of the data, and for your students to be able to get this data in what's as close to real time as possible.
Right.
How have you been able to take this opportunity and use it to help improve your students' data literacy skills? Because one of the things we're always talking about in higher ed is improving our students' myriad literacy skills, whether it's information literacy or media literacy. So how do you think this has helped their data literacy skills?
Well, when it comes to data, they have to look at stuff that isn't just relevant to like the spreadsheet they first get. Part of the exercises we do is like, what else is relevant to this, or what's the adjacent data? And part of the exercise that they do is they have to go find that data. They have to go dig and look for it. Now, many times I have to give them some hints to go in this area and take a look, but as part of their responsibility is to go find additional data, and even sometimes fashion it from something that's very disparate from what we're really looking for, and have to massage it. And that's something you really do in the real world. As many things I had to do as a business development director. I was going taking data from various sources and turning it into a story for people to actually understand, so we could make executive decisions about things.
So to me, this is just a really great use of a current event and bringing that into the classroom so that our students can immediately see the applicability of the skills that they're learning. So thanks for sharing with me today, Jamie. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So this has been another Faculty Spotlight, just showcasing the great work that our faculty are doing during this transition to remote teaching and learning. For more of these, you can check out our CTL website at ctl.sfasu.edu.